We come now to number 13 in our series, in the book of Ephesians. This is entitled Waging Peace, very much in contrast to waging war, I presume. And we're given Ephesians 6 verses 10 to 20. Again, we already looked at that in terms of the armour, but now we're looking at this in terms of what this symbolises in terms of the way in which we should be operating, not just defending ourselves against the attacks of the devil, but making sure that we are true peacemakers. You remember Jesus' words in the Sermon on the Mount about blessed are the peacemakers. That is who we are supposed to be. We are not supposed to be inciting war or violence or hatred of any kind like that. We are to be peacemakers, whether it's within the church when there are conflicts there or outside, wherever we are to be. We are to be working to bring people together, to damp down tensions, not to incite violence, to stoke the fires, but to say, let's calm down, let's think carefully about what we're doing and what this really means. Remember what Paul wrote. He said to stay strong in the Lord and his mighty power. We're not fighting against human forces, but against spiritual rulers and powers, the dark lords of this world, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavens. There is a force for evil in this world that takes a delight in provoking violence and warfare. We see it happening so often in our world today. Selfishness, a desire to conquer, a desire to get your own way by force, by attacking and causing injury and even killing. This is not the way for us. Some quotes for this time. Albert Camus, peace is the only battle worth waging. There you have the waging peace concept again. And then Kofi Annan, you remember, the former UN Secretary General. In some way, the challenges are even more daunting than they were at the peak of the Cold War. Not only do we continue to face grave nuclear threats, but those threats are being compounded by new weapon development, new violence within states, and new challenges to the rule of law. And you only have to pick up a newspaper or turn on the TV and watch the news to see exactly what's happening in our world. So I want to challenge you. How do you become a peacemaker? How do you try and resolve conflicts? How can you get involved to help improve things in your own community? And there's a long quote there from Martin Luther King Jr. We will not build a peaceful world by following a negative path. It is not enough to say we must not wage war. It is necessary to love peace and sacrifice for it. We must concentrate not merely on the negative expulsion of war, but on the positive affirmation of peace. And you can read the rest of what he says there. It's a love for peace, a love for resolving conflict, for showing what the world can be like by eliminating conflict, by saying, no, I am not going to retaliate. Jesus talked about turning the other cheek and going the extra mile. And so many people have looked at that and said, no, that's not a viable way of operating. But if we're honest, it's the only way, by not wishing to do the eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. You know, when that was brought in, the lex talionis, as it's called, this equivalency of evil, I almost want to say that was better than what went before, which was, you do one bad thing, I'm going to retaliate with 10 bad things. This clan warfare and almost like the way in which the mafia or organized crime might work. No, that was okay. At least you limited the damage done. But Jesus came and said, no, this isn't even the way you should be operating. You've got to be thinking about the way in which you truly can wage peace, to make peace the primary perspective, the way in which you want to live your life without thinking or planning or wanting to hurt others, but wishing to love all those around you in the best way that you can. Let's think about how we can best do that.